Hello guys, in this quick video I'm going to show you how you can make a prettier UI in Milliastra Wonderland. So the first thing that I want to show you is the text formatting. So we can wrap the text in less than color equals yellow greater than, just like in the image here. And then the text will turn yellow, so you can have the color name, or you can have a hex code like in this second example here, and that will, with the hex code, you can also have the text have less opacity, and so like a transparency effect. We can also do the same thing for making the text bold. We can make it italic, and we can also change the size within the same text, as you can see in the image here. And we can use an empty text selector to open that pretty UI you can see on the screen. To do that, you can simply invoke the text selector just as in the image, and you can use the custom buttons. That's the item showcase. We can make use of progress bars, the timers, all that can be used to make a pretty UI. And another thing we can do is within the text, we can use special symbols, as you can see in the image, combined with the colors to make a pretty UI. So if you are creative, there's a lot of stuff you can make. I'm going to show you an example here. So this is my game, and I'm not very good at UI, but you can see that you can make something pretty cool even if you are not very good at it. And here I also want to show you some examples. So let's add a text, and let's just try a color one. So we can say text, and here before text we can say color equals yellow. Then we close it, then we open it, dash color. You can see here that the text is this, and we can also have a second text on the side with a bigger size. So we can say size equals, say 60, and then we close it, then open it again, and we say dash size here. And the same thing works for bold, and it works for symbols. So I pre-made an example here. So we have this symbol here. So for example, if we paste the symbol, the text here, you can see that it now has a symbol. So this uses a progress bar, and what we have here is a combination. So if you, let's say you want to combine this text with another symbol here that's bigger, so like here, and you want them to stay together. So what you're gonna do is hold shift and select both or more that you want, and then you can right click and create combination, and that will couple the two together. So you can see now I can move them both together. So here I also have a dialog example. So it's text on the sides. And by the way, I'm going to leave on the description some symbols that you can use. And here you can see I just changed the color, and it's a symbol for the middle thing. And this is just an interactive button. And then we also have a text selector. So we use a timer here. So I made this example for a domain clear time. So you can just save items as variables. So you would need to fill it here, but this is just an example of how it would look like in game. And basically after this is just being creative and combining the symbols with the colors, and sometimes you can use the text selector depending on what you want. Like it looks very pretty. Even if we would to disable this, just the empty text selector already looks very cool if you want to add something else. And the last thing I want to show you is some warnings, some tips, in case you want to actually publish a game with something like this. You do need to be careful with the size, because a size very high, so I would say higher than this, would cause problems on some screens. So maybe try to keep it to 200 to 56 max. And we also have to set up the UI for all screen types. So for example, this one, I want it to be biased to try to be on the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to select the last option here. So now on this screen type, it's going to try to be on the bottom of the screen. So now we have to do that for all screen types. So I would have to, and for all the text that we have, all the UI things, you have to set it up for all the UI types. So the first thing I'm going to do for this, so for this dialog one, is we would need to make it, let's try to center it. So you would something like this, center it on the screen, also make it as smaller as possible here. And this is also on the bottom. And then this would be your, I didn't name it, you should name your stuff, but I didn't. So this would be here. And it would also be on the bottom center. And then we have our, this is our decoration. So let's try to make it as smaller as possible. And this, we want it to be on the bottom left. And then what else do we have? We have another decoration here that we also want to be on the bottom left. No, this one is on the bottom right. And I'm just doing this quickly for the tutorial, but you can take your time with this stuff. You can test it. And this would be the dialog example. So this is just add some padding here. The center is 650. And then we can add our button here. We can make the button small. Set small. But we can add the button like right here for you to skip dialog. And then if you hadn't done that before, you would just shift click, create the combination, and that's basically it. And thank you for watching, and I see you next time.